Internet. In this edition, we're going to be talking about copyright law and focusing primarily on people's reactions to it. First up, we're going to talk to our panelists about their opinions on sharing copyrighted material.
Copyright material is going to be thrown on anyways. I'm not saying that I'm condoning it, but it happens regardless. It's been happening before the internet. It's going to keep on happening. And like music is the most popular thing that be downloaded now. A lot of people seem justified in downloading a single song instead of spending $20 on a CD when they're only going to listen to just one song.
I know people who shall not be named who have downloaded material, and well, copyright is copyright, and it is the law, and those people are breaking the law, but I think instead of punishing them as criminals, we need to rethink our attitudes about copyright. For the same reason that I think open source has a number of advantages, that I think copyright ultimately is a hindrance to most people. And that's, I think, instead of prosecuting people, we should be thinking about what our copyright is doing to us.
I do not have a problem with downloading copyrighted material, and I know lots of people who have done that, and I do so myself regularly.
I personally have probably only done it just a little bit because generally when I hit dial-up it's really slow, so I don't much. But I know tons of people that have, and I guess it depends on how they intend to use it or what they intend to use it for. Generally, I don't care if they do. I think I probably should care more, but don't.
A local band chimed in with their opinions on file sharing and copyright.
I read this news article today that copyright actually visited a charity for playing their Jingle Bell music too loud in the back of the soup kitchen and also having kids singing carols. You have to pay money for that. What the fuck? Seriously. I mean, it sounds so ridiculous.
Wait, they have to pay copyright money on playing Jingle Bell?
Yes.
And singing carols?
Yes.
So,
no, stop it, we'll get sued! No, stop it!
Step in the closet.
I step in the closet. He goes to the closet. He goes to the closet. And then he said,
Our panelists have this to say about copy protection over files bought legally.
Well, again, it is the law, but I think that what's happening in the music industry is really shameful. I think that the people who claim to be suffering are not the artists, not the people who are actually making the product, but the studio fact-checkers, who are essentially middlemen and have nothing to offer the world besides marketing and promotion, which you're not even really doing for any but a small handful of artists who are probably not being affected by piracy anyway. And I think that what the artist should be doing is recognizing even pirated music as a way of marketing themselves and promoting themselves, because the radio stations are doing it, the labels are doing it, and the way people are sharing music online seems to be, well, it doesn't have to be the horrible evil that it is. I think it can be a way to disseminate music. Because before the internet, people were doing the same thing, so they were just taping songs off of the radio and copying them for their friends, and so I think the internet just made it easier. I don't think it's anything new, and I don't think it necessarily has to be seen as a problem.
If you bought it, it's yours.
Protection for the rich and something that ultimately harms the economy. I think that all intellectual property laws, especially the way that they're formed in the United States, are completely wrong.
I can definitely understand the reasons of why they would want to do that, although certain programs even used by honest people are a little hard to afford because they hear it.
It's kind of like saying, I made this really crappy lock, and I'm going to sue everybody that tries to break it. The whole idea of copyright is kind of a confused system that really isn't protecting people and is basically just right now a way for large companies to try and hold on to money that they don't really have, and so on and so forth.
Our guest then went on to discuss digital rights management and the expansion of copyright law.
Well, I mean, the whole idea of digital rights management being against the people is a larger argument of, the fact that in ownership-based society is just inherently wrong.
Amen.
Where a person being in some sort of position of invisible power somehow benefits from an intangible quality of this thing we call ownership. And, why should somebody keep getting money for something they did a long time ago? Or in many cases, something that they didn't even do. I mean, the person who works at McDonald's has to do something to make money.
Well, fucking Walt Disney has changed the copyright laws, and they made, Mickey Mouse is from 1919.
Yeah. I mean,
if someone was dead after that amount of time, then so should ownership rights over a fucking mouse. A fake mouse.
Finally, our panelists weighed in on what effect they thought internet piracy has had on the entertainment industry.
I know that I get to watch a lot of movies because of it.
I think it pushes more people into downloading things illegally because the cost is rising, and
It probably hit them really hard. I'm sure that they lost a lot of money, but they were one of the highest money makers of all industries anyway.
I think that musicians starting out are more likely to recognize it as a marketing tool and not as, a means by which they're being ripped off. And I think that the rest of the industry needs to follow suit and see it that way too.
The companies that have issues with it can go fuck themselves.
it costs more to watch a movie, it costs more to buy CDs anywhere online.
So fuck them.